Have you ever wondered how people get those crazy angles from rooftops? Or how they get seemingly impossible angles from the window frames? If so, then this video is for you. Hi there, I'm Nox, and today we're gonna talk about movement in PUBG. It's one of the most important factors to master in order to enjoy the game more. So first thing we're actually gonna do is go to settings and switch the keybinds. Separating jump and vault into two different keybinds will allow you to avoid those situations when you might have vaulted over when you wanted to jump over. Also, this will allow you to perform a crouch jump, which is almost impossible without the separation. I do personally like to put the keybind for vault on end because it's just right above the thumb and it's pretty comfortable to use. The problem with that is extend minimap is also on end, so you need to change that keybind. I recommend turning it off because I find it pretty useless. If you do want to keep the keybind, I recommend control end, because if you'll be trying to vault while running, you will open the minimap by a mistake, and that can be pretty annoying. If you do want to practice vaulting, jumping, or just movement in general, going to the training mode, like for many other things, is not a bad idea. In order to go to training mode, you have to open the training tab and choose training. If you do want to practice crouch jumps, I recommend going to the throwable area and just attempting to jump on the window frames. The next thing I do want to touch upon is vaulting itself. It takes some players even hundreds of hours to just understand that there is a distinction between different vaults. What do I mean by that? Is that dependent rather if you are standing, walking or sprinting towards the obstacle, you will perform slightly different actions. If your character is stationary, you will perform a vault up action. Basically, your character will go on top of the obstacle if it's possible. If you're walking towards the obstacle, you will also perform a vault up action, but slightly faster. And if you are sprinting towards the obstacle, you are most likely to vault over it. If the obstacle is too thin, on the other hand, you'll always perform a vault over action. Also, the obstacle is pretty long and you sprint towards it, you'll perform a slide action. Another thing that's worth noting is that you can cancel the vault midway if your character hasn't gone over the obstacle yet. Some of the obstacles will be too thin on one side, causing you to vault over, but if you try to vault on top of it from a different approach, you will be able to vault on top of the obstacle. This information might allow you to climb places you thought were impossible to climb. Another thing that's important to note is that you can break parts of the door to jump on top of that door and get even higher advantage points by jumping from the door onto the roof. In order to do that, you need to break the top of the door with a weapon, next then jump on it from the balcony bar, move slightly backwards to just make sure you're on the edge of the door, then you need to jump up and click the vault button. You need to be careful to not hit the roof tile with your head, because then you will just bounce off and fall down. A lot of buildings in cities like Pochinki, Severny or South Georgia will allow you to use this trick to get on top of the roofs. Another thing I would like to touch upon on is the usage of vehicles to get yourself a better position. For example, you can drive a bike inside of the building for a doorway and you can jump on top of it to get a better angle that's normally impossible. Not only that, but you can also use different vehicles to just boost yourself on top of rooftops, rocks or any unexpected angles you might find. Some of the vehicles are pretty high, for example a US, a small fence or a rock to jump on the US first. I do recommend to be careful with the placement of your vehicle, because you might block the door and trap yourself or your teammates inside of the building. Of course, you can use this tactic to block enemies inside of the building. In PUBG you can do something like a double jump. It's not a jump mid-air, it's basically jumping as soon as you hit the ground, allowing you to keep your momentum. This little trick can help you pull off some vaults that otherwise would be impossible. If you have trouble staying mobile all the while managing your inventory, you can use this trick to stay mobile, for example to change your attachments or just drop an excess of items that you might be having. As for more combat related movement, peeking and learning how to peek properly and quickly is definitely one of the things that's worth learning and practicing. In PUBG your character is right-handed, therefore you wanna peek to the right side most of the time that you can, because this will allow you to maximize your visuals and minimize the visuals of the enemy of you. If you want a quick peek, it's important to not only just stop peeking after your shot, for example, but to also click the counterpart of the way you're peeking. So let's say you're peeking right, you're gonna click your left peek button, which is normally Q, to quickly hide your character. If you're shooting from a ridge, it's also worth to just click C and look down to make your character hide his head faster. There's also a jiggle peek, which basically means you clicking Q and E while shooting to jiggle your head and avoid bullets. It might save your life, it's definitely worth practicing. But also when you have a clean shot, just take a shot, there is no point of jiggle peeking when no one is shooting towards you. Worth a note that jiggle peek is also a term used to describe an action of quickly peeking for information. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more tutorials. I'll definitely be making some more. And let me know which tutorial for what you would like to see in PUBG. So again, thanks for watching and see ya.